Hey guys, it's Sam with The Blind Life. Welcome back to the channel where I help you learn how to live your best blind life. I just got something in the mail. It's a brand new cane. This is the all-terrain cane brought to us by AwareWolf gear. I'm excited to take it out for a test spin, and of course I'll bring you guys with me. I'm also going to get a chance to talk with the man who created the all-terrain cane, Sedona Dave. So it's going to be a great video. Hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, like I said, this is the all-terrain cane, and what that means is a much more heavy-duty cane that you'll be able to use for all types of outdoor situations. Now, I'll explain more when we talk about the cane and its construction. First, let's get it out of the bag here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, here is the cane. It is a folding cane, which everybody loves. It is a 3-section folding cane. Right away, you're gonna notice this giant rolling ball tip, and that makes sense. It is an all-terrain cane, and that is one of the kings of the all-terrain tips. All right, let's talk about some of the standout features of this cane. One is the construction materials. This cane is made out of titanium and steel. And that is pretty unique. Usual cane materials are like carbon fiber, fiberglass, aluminum, even plastic. I've very rarely seen one made out of titanium and steel, and that's really, really cool. The purpose of that is to once again add strength to the cane. This cane is all about strength and stability while you're out doing your adventurous activities. Next, you're gonna notice right away the super long handle. It's about twice as long as your standard cane handle. The top half is the golf club grip with the flat side, and the bottom half is completely round, or basically a cylinder. You do have this soft foam material for the handle. It's very similar to NFB style canes if you're familiar with those. Extra long lanyard here with a plastic pull on it. Some kind of little mechanism here at the bottom of the handle. We're gonna come back to that. As I said before, 3 sections. The bottom section is red, which is pretty common, especially here in the United States. The fittings in between the sections here, these are made out of stainless steel, and they're also cylindrical. A lot of times these are conical in shape to help them fit, but Dave made these cylindrical so that it's a nice snug fit when they nest together, making it even stronger. Something else you'll notice that's really, really cool is the elastic band on the inside here is actually made out of metal. It's some type of elastic metal. Once again, adding all kinds of strength. Super smooth rolling ball tip down here on the end, and this is a slip-on tip, so you can switch out your tips. Just need to make sure you have the right diameter for the cane. All right, getting back to the handle and probably the coolest feature of this cane, you've got this little locking mechanism here at the bottom of the handle. If you pop it open, unlocks, and now the handle can extend. So this is really cool. This allows you to extend this cane to whatever length you want. I think it goes from like 50 inches all the way up to 63 inches.
The actual measurements are 51 inches all the way up to 61 inches.
Which is kind of crazy. You find the length that you want and then lock it back down into place. I mentioned that the cane is all about strength, and it truly is. If you've ever gone through orientation and mobility, you know that one of the things they tell you is to not lean on your canes. They say mobility canes, white canes, they're not used for stability. Well, that is not the case for the all-terrain cane. In fact, it was designed to be leaned on. One of the main purposes of the cane is for stability when you're out walking through trails or hiking up a mountain. Of course, you'll need your cane to identify what's in front of you, but it never fails at certain times, especially when you're going down a trail, you inevitably need to lean on your cane for stability. And you can definitely do that with the all-terrain cane. I mean, that's what it's designed for. One final thing I've got to point out is you have the logo all-terrain cane printed on the cane itself, and they've also written that out in Braille. And this isn't a sticker or anything. This braille is actually printed into the titanium of the cane. Not only that, but you also have Sedona Dave's logo printed into the cane. It's the AwareWolf gear logo, which I'm actually wearing one of his shirts right now. AwareWolf gear. As always, guys, I'm going to have links to the AwareWolf gear website in the video description down below. That's where you'll be able to purchase the all-terrain cane and pick up some of Dave's awesome AwareWolf gear merchandise. Okay, so now that I've got the cane, I'm going to use it for a couple of weeks, test it out. I also have an opportunity to go talk to Dave out in California. But I also want to take this to some local trails and see how it performs out in the wild, as it is intended to be used. So let's go do that right now.
Many weeks later.
Okay guys, it is about 2 or 3 weeks after I recorded that first part. I know it doesn't look like I'm actually wearing the same shirt, but that's on purpose. But I've been using the cane for a couple weeks now, and it's actually become my daily driver cane. And that is partly because I actually put a marshmallow tip on the end of the cane. Once again, it takes slip-on tips, so the tips are interchangeable. And that helped me. It took a lot of weight off the end of the cane because those rolling ball tips tend to be heavy, but it made it a very pleasant cane to use every single day. I love how I can adjust the height of the cane to whatever I'm feeling like using right then. Sometimes if I'm standing there, I will adjust it a little higher so that it rests right under my chin, and I will just kind of lean on it. And then when it's time to go again, maybe I'll drop it down to my comfortable walking height. I just love the versatility of it. I've also found myself standing there with my hand on the little locking mechanism here. It makes a nice little shelf for my hand to rest on. It's super comfortable. And sometimes I'll even kind of hold the cane in the crook of my elbow here and use it this way. Just so many different options thanks to the height adjustment and this extra long grip. But I did have a chance to take this out to some hiking trails, and it worked perfectly. It came in so handy, especially going up and down hills and even crossing over creeks. And because the thing is built like a tank, I wasn't worried about getting it in the water. I wasn't worried about babying it at all. I mean, it just performed perfectly. As I mentioned before, I also had an opportunity to go out to LA and talk to Sedona Dave himself to kind of get his story on why he created this cane. And one thing that really impresses me is that this is the actual cane and rolling ball tip that I took out to the beach that day. I had this buried in like 10 inches of sand most of the day, and this ball tip here still rolls smoothly. It's not bound down with sand or anything like that. This is also the one I took through the creek, so it went into the water, into the dust and the dirt of the trail, and no problems. It still rolls like a dream. Dave, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you taking a minute to talk with me about this. So you came up with the all-terrain cane. Can you tell me a little bit about the inspiration?
The inspiration, yeah, it came one day on a trail. Now, this is all, I got to preface by saying this is all before I was fully competent on the cane. So I was in the middle of orientation training. I knew what the cane was about. I had a taste of it. I didn't like it, but I knew it was my future.
Yeah.
So, okay, back to the...
But not fully comfortable on it.
Not at all,
yeah.
Not at all, but I knew its purpose. And deep inside I thought, all right, I've got to get this. Anyways, back on the trails, the sun dropped below the horizon. I lost all direct sunlight, shadows, contrast, depth perception, and I started fumbling around and tripping and wrenching my ankles and apparently spewing some, I don't know what was coming out of my mouth, but it was enough for my wife to stop and turn around and say, what is the problem? And I said, the sun's gone, I can't see, I don't have any contrast, I mean, I'm hurting myself, I don't belong here, okay, I can't do this, I need something, and I was like, I need this, but I don't know what this is, but this is what's gonna keep me safe on the trails. The next day, I was at Canyon Outfitters can you show me where your blind hiking section is? Then he shows me the first aid kits, right? The flashlights, the whistles, you know, and like, well, don't you have anything for hiking? He's like, well, let me show you the trekking poles. Okay, not what I needed, but let me take some brain cells back to my garage, the laboratory, with a trekking pole. What can I do with it? And over the course of many iterations, many trials with tips, duct tape, knives, I came up with the first few prototypes of the all-terrain cane. It was a huge success for me on the trails of Arizona. And that was my start. What do I need to keep me safe and hiking on the trails? And the brainchild of the all-terrain cane was born.
For lack of a better explanation, it's the child of a trekking pole and a blind cane, right? With some really some really cool additions, though.
I love that. A trekking pole and a mobility cane met one night at a bar. That's beautiful.
So let's go over some of the aspects of it and explain the thinking behind it. Now, obviously, it's extremely durable.
Yes.
Like, we've been laying on this thing. We've been really, full weight on this without any problems in the sand, which is not very forgiving for leaning on stuff. How about the handle? The handle is probably the most striking thing about it.
Nice. Okay, I put a lot of thought and a lot of miles on the trails to go into the handle that I feel solves my problem. When I'm hiking, I tend to choke up a lot. You know, when you're ascending, your steps are very short. I needed the ability to choke up. So I wanted to extend the grip from 9 inches, what we have on our mobility canes, to 16 inches. All right, so with a golf grip, it gives me the ability to choke way up.
Yeah.
Switch over to a ski pole grip as I'm descending, letting my upper body take the weight. Now I've got 16 inches of positive grip. This is a good positive grip, and I know I'm going to be safe.
Yeah.
As well, I wanted to mount this grip independently of the cane to give us what I like to call a one-size-fits-most cane. So I incorporated a flip lock that allows the grip to slide up about 10 or 11 inches, giving the cane the length of between 51 and about 62 inches.
Yeah.
So also, I wanted to go with a flip lock. I found that for the blind community, it's easy to identify, and it's open or closed. It's very binary. It's, okay, now it's open, it's gonna move, and now it's locked.
And it really is locked in, too.
It really is, yeah.
And you can tighten it, too. If it does, over time, maybe become loose or something, you can tighten that down.
Exactly. A lot of thought went into the strength of this. Out in Arizona, what do I get to hold on to? Cactus and dead trees. I need something to hold on to for ascending and descending.
Yeah.
So I needed to really put some thought into the design, materials, joint design. I ended up going with a titanium. All right, it's super lightweight, but amazingly strong. And this is what's going to keep me safe. And as I'm descending, braking, the joint is stainless steel. Stainless steel, not aluminum. So it gives that joint some real rigidity.
And then to top it off, you've got the giant rolling ball tip, which is a slip-on tip, which is great. And is this larger than your average rolling ball tip?
Not really. It's a standard 5 centimeter or 2 inch rolling ball.
Okay, maybe because it's red, it feels bigger.
It's right. It sticks.
But it feels like it's going to glide over everything.
It really does. It does great on the sand. On the trails in Arizona, sand, ledge, gravel, rock. It just does a great job in skimming over all the surfaces. A lot of haptic feedback too.
Yeah.
So we can really hear and feel the hollowness of the sandstone out there. You can hear, okay, that's gravel, and now I'm back on the trail. It's a great tip, and for me, it does span all terrains.
Yeah.
We're also going in different colors. We're going with a yellow, a sherbet pink, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
And a red orange, which it's really interesting colors. I wanted to just give it a little bit of bling. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not bling it up a little bit, make it interesting?
Yeah. These are our tools we use every day. Let's put a little bit of personality into them.
Absolutely.
But also what I noticed too is in everyday use for me personally, I've been fluctuating between a longer, you know, I might lengthen it out as I'm walking down the street, and then if I go in somewhere, I might shorten it up a little bit. I like the flexibility of being able to put it whatever height I like.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Well, you should be proud, sir. I think it's a great cane.
I appreciate that. You know, and I am. I'm proud that you're out on the beach using it, that it's not just me on the trails anymore. It's I'm not the only blind person on the beach stomping around saying, why am I the only blind person on the beach? You know,
yeah.
We just need the right tools and we can be anywhere we want to be. And here we are.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the video with my final thoughts on the all-terrain cane. Ultimately, I think it's pretty awesome, and I'm excited to continue using this pretty much daily. But of course, it's not 100% perfect. Even in its folded up position like this, it's pretty long. So this might limit some bags you can put it into if you have like a cane harness or a cane holster that you wear. This might not fit in it very well. Now, that was obviously a compromise. They wanted to make it folding because that's the most popular style of cane and it makes it extra portable. But you can't make it too many sections or it's going to lose its strength. Something else to note is that you have to put the strap, when you want to hold the folded cane closed, you have to apply it from the bottom. And that's not my favorite way to do it. I would much prefer to take it over the top, but I understand why. That way you're not going to have a super long wrist strap here hanging off, and the loop would have to be extra big to get over this rolling ball tip. So a little bit of an inconvenience, but I understand why they went with that. Something else to consider is the weight of the canes, because they are made with like titanium and steel and stuff. They are a little bit heavier than some traditional white canes. The cane, fresh out of the box, or out of the bag rather, weighs 15 ounces exactly. The cane that I put the marshmallow tip on weighs right around 13.5 ounces. I will say though, it is noticeably lighter when I'm using it. And then finally, pricing of the cane. I believe the price is right around $120. Now, for some people that might sound like a lot, but if you are an adventurous, outdoorsy type person, you like to go hiking, you go to the beach, you go rock climbing, snow skiing, I don't know, anything like that, this is going to be a fantastic cane and something you're definitely going to want to use. I've shown this to a bunch of people and I've heard many people talk about breaking canes while out doing those types of activities. Regular white canes are just not designed to hold up to that kind of use. So if that's something you need, then I would definitely recommend checking out the all-terrain cane. Once again, I will have links in the video description for the AwareWolf gear website. You can also just Google AwareWolf gear. Definitely check it out. That's where you'll find the cane. That's where you'll find all the awesome t-shirts and other types of merchandise. But that is it for this one, guys. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you know any adventurous type people out there, you can share the video with them. And of course, remember to subscribe to the channel. It helps out the channel and keeps you in the loop for all the new videos that I post every single Saturday. Before I go, I want to give a huge thank you to all the members of The Blind Life. As I always say, without your support, none of this would be possible, and I truly appreciate it. If you would like to become a member of the channel, help out the channel, and join us for some cool events like our monthly video call, then check out the link in the video description or head over to the membership tab on my channel. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Go out, get yourself an all-terrain cane, and start living your best blind life. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.